got to move away from just jumping up and down in front of your logo and calling that organic content at the moment. It's dead. It's over. A big thing that we talk about in our academy is high performing organic. And most of our clients are getting up to 50% of their sales every single month from organic content and opening chats with the people who follow them from that organic content. Okay, welcome back. So obviously we're here in the middle of January and I'm thinking to myself, I've just had a great break with the fam. I really want to dominate this year. I've gone through my goal setting. I've done my terms. You remember from that episode on New Year's Day around price and terms, you've set your terms. And now maybe off the back of that, you've realized that this year is the year that you really want to grow your studio or you really want to grow your business. So I want to kind of break down today's episode and next week's episode into two parts. There's a few different levels of our academy, and I'm going to break these two episodes up. If you think about growing your studio, there's different priorities depending on which level you're at. So there's either level 1, which is where we talk about people that are in that they're hovering around that break even, but they're still not quite there yet. The main issue there is, leads and sales. So struggling with leads, struggling with sales, struggling with tracking, struggling with having a proper sales process and getting into the daily habits, the daily winning habits. Then level 2 is maybe you have broken even, you're making some profit, but you're feeling a bit of that sort of burnout vibe and how you're going to do it all yourself and you feel like it's all on you. So there's different priorities there. Maybe you've got some teams or maybe that is your priority. And then there's a level 3, which is more about sort of leadership. You've got people problems and you want to maximize profits and you're not sure how to do that. So today's episode, I want to focus on level 1. So if you're struggling with sales, and you're struggling with marketing, you're not alone. This is a very common level. In this episode, I'm going to give you the winning habits that we teach people that are in the sprint level of our program, which will get you unstuck. This is some housekeeping stuff that I want you to be able to listen to everything I'm about to lay out right now and almost go, all right, tick, we're doing that. Tick, we're doing that. Tick, we're doing that. Oh, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. So before you get started this year, you've got a really clear list of things you are doing and things you need to work on at the housekeeping level to make sure that you have an amazing year. Let's get started into that right now. All right. So if you've made it your goal to grow your studio this year and to double your sales, to get into a sale a day, let me run you through what I would love you to be looking at every single day, week, and month in order for you to get into that rhythm from a housekeeping perspective, from a checklist perspective. So before I get into this, the most common problems that we see of people that are in this level is they're not getting lead flow. Now, I could go into a whole bunch of reasons why you're not getting lead flow, but let me just run through some of the problems that we tend to hear from people that are in this level of our program. So if this sounds like you, this is definitely your episode. You're not getting lead flow, or the leads are coming in, but they're not picking up. You're finding it hard to get these people on the phone. You feel like you have to do free offers or low-cost offers, and you might not realize it yet, but you're actually losing money on your front end deals. Your ads aren't really customized for the audience that you're trying to attach. They're a bit more generic. They kind of look like someone else's ads, or maybe you're part of a franchise network and you've been told to run certain types of ads that just aren't working, but you're not really sure why or how to argue back because you don't really understand your results. You get people on the phone, close some of them, but you don't really have a sales script. You don't really have a process around how to make sales. You've got a couple of people making sales and no one's really hitting 40% conversion rates. It's a bit messy in the sales process. You're also tracking the wrong metrics. So if I turned up and asked you, hey dude, what's your conversion rate? What's your win rate percentage? What's your pickup percentage? You can't actually tell me those figures just yet. So if that sounds like you, then let's do the opposite of that this year. Is that cool with you? Before people go up into level 2 of our academy, they've got to solve these problems. We actually don't graduate them until they're ready because they've got these things in place. And how do we know? Well, because we're tracking their metrics every single week and we know if it's working or not based on the numbers. The numbers don't lie. All right. So let's get into a bit of a housekeeping checklist. We call this the winning habits. Now, this is all in a worksheet and some checklists. If you would like this checklist, head over to Instagram, follow me at hey.doza and just message me winning. And I'll make sure that the team sends across this handout for you so you don't need to do any kind of opt-ins and landing pages and things like that. Less landing pages for us to do as well. All right, so these are called the winning habits. And the big thing that we've got across the top of the page on these winning habits is this phrase that I had at my studio from the start that I drilled with my team, which is greatness comes from doing the right things the right way for a very long period of time. Okay, so the first thing is you're not running generic ad campaigns. Okay, we've done episodes on this in the past, which I can link below in the show notes about how to go from 2 to 3 leads a week to 2 to 3 leads a day and what the agencies aren't telling you. So there's a bit of a shared understanding here that you're running avatar, like custom avatar ads that are targeting the right price point, that are written in a way that is befitting of direct response marketing. Okay. So you're getting into the emotion and you're doing all that sort of stuff. We've done episodes about that. So I'm just going to assume that you're doing that. So now that you've launched your first campaign, what we get people in our academy to do is, instead of just getting into overwhelm or the WTF do I do right now, is to look at these non-negotiable standards. Okay. So it's a simple formula of leads, sales, tracking until your acquisition, so lead sales tracking, is no longer your handbrake. So then you can move into, so now you start making more money. There's more people at your studio. The focus becomes around operations, assembling a team and like actually progressing in your business. All right. So it's broken up into 3 different sections: the daily stuff, the weekly stuff, and the monthly stuff. I'm going to start with the monthly stuff. So the monthly stuff, what we get our people to do is actually to sit down and set a monthly sales and growth target. I know that might sound crazy, but it's really not. We meet a lot of studio owners. When we go, what is your target for the month? They go, more. And we just go, okay, dude, but like how many more, right? So it's to set sales and net growth targets for your team and your business. We would get them to look at the previous trends and based on those trends, identify what their biggest handbrake is that is holding them back from growing. And if it's still leads and sales, let's just assume it is, because that's why we're talking about this level right now. Then from that, we're talking about what do we need to do to improve the handbrake, the thing that's holding them back in the business. So for instance, if you looked at, last month's result and you're looking at, increasing by a net 20, well, what's holding you back from increasing by a net 20 at the moment? Well, turns out you didn't get any fucking leads last month. So that's a handbrake. So that means you've got to really focus for the first 90 minutes a day, every day, on your number one handbrake, which is like write better ads, learn how to set them up in a more effective method in Ads Manager, or maybe it's like creative refreshes more often, identifying those elements. Maybe you're getting enough, maybe you got 100 leads, but you're 20% conversion rate on the ads. Now, you know that I want you at 40% conversion rates. So maybe now you're thinking, fuck, we're getting the amount of leads, we're just not getting to them on time, which I'll get to in a second. In that case, then your number one handbrake for the month ahead is really focusing the team on sales, right? Because what you focus on expands. Or maybe you're getting leads, you're getting sales. It feels good because there's people at the studio, like it feels like you're making more money, but you have no idea where it's coming from and you're not tracking it properly. So you don't actually understand your business, which keeps you, if you don't understand your business, what we find for people in the academy are the ones that don't understand their business are the ones that panic the most. And let me tell you, I've been in control and I've been out of control, and I fucking prefer in control every day of the week. So once we understand what the constraint is and we decide that that's our priority, that we're going to work on it for 90 minutes a day until it's not the problem, when we get into deep work, then what we want to do is we want to identify what our sales targets are for the month ahead, all right? What our lead target is and what our sales target is. So we can really, when we do our weekly numbers, it is really clear, black or white, whether we got there or not. This isn't about emotion. I'm sorry, guys. You guys know I love you, but like, fuck your mood, fuck your emotions. Did you get there or not? And I'm being strong with you because the bank doesn't care. The bank doesn't care how you felt last month. There's a bill. Did you pay it or not? Your landlord doesn't care. Like, yes or no. That's why the little cells in the spreadsheet are so small. It's because it's small enough to fit a number, not a story. So you've set your net growth targets and you set your sales targets. Then monthly, what I would get you to do as well is I would get you to run what we would call the parachute method, which is a monthly reactivation, database reactivation promo to your ex-members, your trialers that never became members, your leads that never became trialers, and anyone else that's, floating around. I would run, custom offers to the different parts of this list, and I would theme it based on, obviously, if you're doing this for January or you're doing this, you're listening to this and it's March, theme it for the month, right? Come up with a different reason for why you're reaching out. There's a whole kind of chat here around now buys and later buys. And what we found in all our research and in research that's out there, so like desktop research, is that most of your leads are going to be later buys. So the fortune is in the follow-up. Where people go wrong is that they don't have any follow-up with their email. I know you guys, and I know you guys don't bloody email market. If there's anything that you do in 2025 is lean into email marketing, okay? So launching a database reactivation campaign, I would definitely have that on the list to fill up your pipeline with opportunities. And these are warm opportunities. These are hot leads. and it might be a short-term campaign. You want them to respond, I'm ready. And anyone who does respond, mate, you drop everything, you call that person and you get them enrolled. Okay. The third thing that we would get people to do monthly is to prep your organic content plan for the month. If you're at the stage where you're still creating and shipping content on the fly, you are doing business in hard mode. Instead, what I'd love you to do is in this monthly session, you've identified what was your best performing content from last month. Then based on that, you're formulating a plan for the content that you want to lean more into for the month ahead to keep improving your performance from your organic content. And then you identify which organic content you're going to choose to sponsor and put some paid marketing behind to increase your audience size. You've got to move away from just jumping up and down in front of your logo and calling that organic content at the moment. It's dead. It's over. In an age now where a big thing that we talk about in our academy is high performing organic, and most of our clients are getting up to 50% of their sales every single month from organic content and opening chats with the people who follow them from that organic content. That was probably sponsored or boosted, but not pressing the boost button and put in front of the right audience or a retargeting audience in your local area. This is the new world. If you're not doing that, please reach out. If you're still battling with getting $50, $60 leads and still running the same campaign that you did 2 years ago, I'm going to be the guy to tell you that's dead. That's gone. Okay. I've done episodes about the 7-11-4 rule from Google. The world's moved on. That's not how things are working right now. So that's what we would do monthly. These are the winning habits. Set sales and net growth targets for your team and for your business. You've run an email offer to the 3 different segments in your email list. And you've also set up and planned out your organic content for the month ahead so you can batch film and schedule instead of just trying to post on the fly. So they're 3 big things that are absolute non-negotiables in our academy for people that are in level 1. Now down to the daily. At the daily level, assuming that you've launched a campaign that is up to our standards and we've taught you how to set it up properly in Ads Manager, not the way that we've seen when people come to us, then the first thing that we would get you to do every single day is a 5-minute daily ad review. Now, we've got training on how to do that. Our clients do it. They've ordered a coffee. In the time that it takes to wait for that coffee to be ready, they've already done the daily ad review on their phone, looking at, impressions, looking at CTR percentages, and looking at the different campaign ad setups. They're at the point where they know which ones to turn off, which losers to turn off, and which winners to back and put more money into from their phone while they're waiting for their fucking ice long black. Okay? Every single day, non-negotiable. The reason why people's ads campaigns blow out and they're not getting leads is because they're not managing the campaign. They're not intervening when costs are going up. They're not intervening when there's a losing ad set that's still sucking some money, or they're not actually paying attention to what's working out there in the market or not. Instead, they're just I'm not getting any leads. It's there's a reason why. Get in there and have a look at it. So, and just before you think, oh my God, but I'm not a marketer. Neither are my clients. But guess what? This isn't really marketing. If you can learn how to use internet banking, if you can learn how to use MindBody, if you can learn how to use Xero, you can learn how to use the Ads Manager. You just got to get people to show you how to do it properly and just in a very simple way. And that's what we do in the sprint. The second thing that we talk about as a non-negotiable every day is to call leads within 5 minutes. Call the fucking leads. You've seen me say that, okay? When you get to a lead within 5 minutes, you are 100 times more likely to get a successful pickup. That's a stat out of Harvard, and it's also a life experience that we have. Every single time except for 0, when a client says to us that the leads aren't picking up, we go, cool, are you getting to them within 5 minutes? They say no. I don't know what else to tell you. That's it. Start there. And don't give me what if they come at 11 p.m.? Everyone fucking says that. That's not what it means, right? But where possible, you've got to get to the leads within 5 minutes, okay? Because you're at 100 times more likely to get a successful pickup within 5 minutes than if you wait a day. So that's the second thing. So the 5-minute daily ad review and call the leads within 5 minutes. And when you do connect with a lead, you've got to follow the script. If you don't have a script, you are baking a cake without a recipe. It might be fine. A lot of our guys that are in that sort of level 2, level 3, they don't need the script anymore until they rehire someone. That's kind of like a master baker doesn't need a recipe anymore. If you're still at level 1 because you're struggling with sales and you don't have a sales system and you don't have a script, you are definitely flying blind. Okay. So if you would like the script, reach out to me at hey.dozer on Instagram, hit me a follow, and then just comment the word script and I'll get the team to send you across the script. Then the third piece of that daily checklist is complete your follow-ups. Those 3 things every single day is heavy on making sure you're hitting lead flow and sales. Leads, sales, leads, sales, leads, sales. If you're in level 1 right now, it's because you've got money problems. Money solves money problems. You're not going to get money if you're not going to sell people. So that's why, the non-negotiables are heavy on lead flow and sales. So with the follow-ups, we would suggest that in our follow-up sequence, there's up to 18 follow-ups in 10 days. Most people stop after about 3 follow-ups. Most sales happen after about the 8th. So audit yourself here. If you're giving up, if your team tells you that they're not picking up and they give up after 3 attempts, you're going to get left behind. That's it. I don't know. You've got to keep following up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So there's a way to do the follow-ups. I would try different times throughout the day. There are different hot times throughout the day that we get our guys to focus on. And there's definitely a way to do the follow-ups and different channels like your SMSing, your emails, your phone, even an additional phone as well. So there's lots of different tricks around that. But start with volume of follow-ups. Okay, so audit yourself. If you're not doing 18 follow-ups in 10 days, I would start there. So we've gone through monthly, we've gone through daily, now weekly. What we get people to do at a weekly level is we get them to do a creative refresh. Most times, the reason why ads blow out and the CTR percentage drops is because the ad is starting to fatigue, particularly in smaller markets and local area-based marketing. Your auntie who works in national-based marketing, that might tell you that creatives don't blow out that fast. That's great, Auntie Lynn. But at the local area where you've got 20,000 people that you're trying to target or 30,000 people that you're trying to target, and you might be doing a female ad, which cuts it in half, your creative will fatigue. If we bake in a weekly creative refresh, then what that's doing is it's reducing the time that you're out of market with an irrelevant ad, which means at a macro level for the month to hit your monthly lead target based on what you came up with at your monthly review preview meeting, now you're getting the lead flow that you need in order to convert 40% of them to hit your sales targets that you also came up with. You see what's going on here? So creative refresh based on the winning ads and feedback from the people that bought. If 9 out of 10 people on the phone told you that the reason why they're joining is because of A, B, and C, guess what? Put that in the ad. Put that in the copy. Weekly creative refresh. The only exception here is if you've got a campaign that is flying. It's absolutely flying. It's at $9 CPLs. You're converting 50% of them. Don't touch them. Don't touch it. Just let it ride. You've got probably, the CPLs could double, triple, and it's because they're closing. That's where I would leave it. Okay. There's exceptions of all this, which is why they get people in our academy get coaching on this every day. Every single week on a Friday, you've got to complete the full set of numbers. You've got to be tracking the right metrics. You've got to be tracking the right metrics. This is how you review where you're off track, on track, and when you're above or below benchmarks. The struggle here is when you don't have a boss, because you are the boss, you don't really have anyone to answer to, okay? But that's why in our academy, there's benchmarks of where we're okay for you to be up and down on. And as long as you're in the green, that's not the issue right now when we think about the fear of constraints, which I'll do another podcast episode about that. So at the very least, I'd want you to be tracking, your weekly ad spend, your CPLs, how many leads you're getting off the back of that, how much of it's coming from paid, how much of it's coming from organic sources, how many sales you made, what's the conversion rate off the back of those sales. I would definitely start there. And then the third thing that we would do weekly for our guys is we would make sure that based on what the results are showing, that they interpret their results and they give us their plan for the following week in order to win their week to have a fuck yeah Friday, next Friday. So you can see how if you're in level 1, you've got money problems, which effectively is you've got an acquisition problem, an acquisition process problem. You either don't have effective lead flow, high quality lead flow and a strategy to get high quality lead flow. And you might be thinking Facebook ads are dead or things have changed. Yes, they have changed, but you haven't moved on. You haven't modernized. There's that. Or maybe you're thinking you're getting the leads, but you're just not converting enough of them. And that's because you haven't got an effective sales process that works in 2025. Maybe you got both those things, but you don't even know because you're not tracking it properly. So you don't even understand your business. You're not sure where the leads are coming from. You're not sure if your conversion rate is good or not. And then if you don't know that, then how do you talk to your people about whether they're doing a good job or not? And maybe you don't have people. Maybe it's you. And that might be the issue because we often need other people to, answer to. So based on all of that, the solve for all that is these winning habits. We've got some monthly stuff, we've got some weekly stuff, and we've got some daily stuff. And I'm sure if you're in this level 1, where you're somewhere between 0 to break even, you're still hovering around break even, if you just do this and commit to this for the first 90 days of this year, you will get out of this phase and you'll be ready for level 2. And level 2 is where your issue is going to be more about time and team to get you out of the burnout loop, which is what I'm going to explain in the next episode. See you then.